Knockout punch sounds good to me. Dr. Batman. I think I'm going to change my name to Dr. Batman. We're growing a non-militant army of the informed here, a non-militant grassroots coalition of the informed people who have seen the light of medical nutrition, who have walked around the undiscovered country of science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition, and who are going out of their comfort zone, out of their way to tell everybody in their world about it. Because this is how, in fact, we're going to change the world. Worked pretty good for the church, didn't it? Started with 2 guys, and look at it now, all word of mouth. Worked pretty good for Buddhism, didn't it? Started with 1 guy, and look at it now, all word of mouth. And this is how we're going to change the world with a non-militant grassroots coalition of the informed. Join Youngevity now. If you were driven or suggested to come to this website by somebody, get with them to get more information about Youngevity and how you can interface with Youngevity. There are 2 ways you can work with Youngevity, either as a customer, and you can get our nutritional or Youngevity's nutritional supplements at the wholesale price, and or you can become a Youngevity distributor, a Youngevity associate, a Youngevity business owner, and Youngevity will pay you to spread the message of health recovery through science-based, clinically verified medical nutrition. Get with the person who invited you to this radio program to get those questions answered. If you found us completely on your own, then dial up 855-347-3696, 855-347-3696, and someone from Team Glidden will be in touch. Wendy from Canada's up. Hey, Wendy. Thanks for the phone call. Thanks for waiting. You are live.
No problem. Hey, Dr. Batman, I like that.
I know, right?
I call Wonder Woman.
All right, great.
Hey, please give me some information about estrogen dominance.
Oh, yeah.
And if you could give me that before I start crying or yelling at you, that would be awesome.
I know, right?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I really feel for. Are you married?
Not anymore.
Yeah, well, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's a tough thing, man. This really speaks to an interesting physiological phenomenon. If I was an evil genius and I wanted to screw with humanity, an easy way to do it would be to put stuff in the water supply that messed up people's hormones. Because hormones affect every single aspect of the human body all the time. Hormones are everywhere all the time. And when your hormones aren't right, you're not right. And I don't care if you're a man or you're a woman. I don't care if you're a child. I don't care if you're in your reproductive years. I don't care if you're perimenopausal, premenopausal, whatever. If your hormones aren't right, you're not right. And when you're not right hormonally, everything's wrong. It is a big, bad voodoo daddy. It's like walking around with, a cloud over your head all the time, but it's been there for so long that you forget that it's there. It's a problem, right? Now, MDs will tell you that, estrogen dominance is a term that was developed by somewhat progressive physiologists who, saw hundreds of women who have all kinds of mood disorders, and they figured out, well, son of a gun, this is a hormonal thing. And so they do blood work and they do investigative analyses, and they see, well, son of a gun, and all of the women who are having these complaints, on a relative scale of things, there's more estrogen than there ought to should be. Hence the term estrogen dominance. Now, when estrogen dominance goes extreme, there are wild variants of estrogen that can be formed, which actually are directly related to breast cancer, right? So estrogen, all by itself. By the way, estrogen, there's no such thing as estrogen. Estrogen is a collective term for 3 different biochemicals. Estriol, estrone, O-N-E for 1, estrone, that's, estrogen 1. Estradiol, di for 2. And estriol, T-R-I-O-L for 3. Estrone, estradiol, and estriol. These 3 estrogens collectively are referred to as estrogen. So really in estrogen dominance, it's one of the 3 that's elevated. It's either estrone, estriol, or estradiol. that's elevated. And inquiring minds, of course, want to know, well, why are they elevated? Right? I mean, that's a good question to ask, right? I mean, why is my estrogen funky and my sister's isn't? Why are my estrogen levels funky and my cousins aren't? Why are my estrogen levels funky and my next door neighbors or my daughters aren't? And MDs have absolutely no answer for this. Because remember, again, the MD's not concerned with what causes disease. And this is a travesty of biblical proportions. If everybody in the world understood that their MD wasn't trained in how to cure disease and that research is not concerned with what causes disease or how to cure it, there'd be a freaking revolution here overnight. I mean, there would be. Because the major cause of human suffering is medical conditions. I mean, it eclipses war, it eclipses poverty, it eclipses infectious disease. Everybody is sick all of the time. Everybody, everywhere is sick all of the time because they don't have a clue and because the MDs have completely let us down. You know, I mean, this is my theme. It's the theme of this radio show, and I keep pounding it because it's true, and everybody needs to hear it, especially people with estrogen dominance, because your life sucks, and, you know, through no fault of your own. I mean, and it would be one thing, right? I mean, Wendy, it would be one thing, you know, if you were in a automobile accident, you're in a full body cast, right, or in a wheelchair, or walking around on crutches, because then people, you know, in your life would take pity on you and then would help you and would understand, well, you know, you're up against it. You need some help. But with hormonal diseases, you can't see it. And it's just as bad as if you were in a full body cast, but nobody sees it. And so I think it's triply bad. No kidding, and I'm not attempting to make you cry. I'm really not. I'm not attempting
No,
to
I
make
have
you
to
cry.
clarify. My life rocks. I mean, I'm a longevity distributor, so of course my life rocks. You know, I maybe exaggerated a little bit there, but, you know, just going through menopause, or haven't really started yet, but it's just a heavy period, insane clotting, and, yeah, crying a lot.
Yeah, I know.
But I am healthy generally. I haven't done anything mainstream in over 20 years. I do yoga and Reiki, and I'm a happy person. You know?
Well, all right, and I get that, and that's good, but still, you're symptomatic, and I got to tell you something. Yeah, I'm a stickler for details here, and language is important. And by the way, thank you for your service with longevity. I mean, no kidding, that's a big deal. And you're not healthy. I mean, if you were healthy, then we wouldn't be having this phone call, because you wouldn't have estrogen dominance and you wouldn't have all of these symptoms that come and go, right? I mean, that's the very definition of somebody who's not healthy. I understand what you mean. You know, you don't have cancer, you don't have high blood pressure, you don't have arthritis, right? But really, I mean, really, right? Anybody with a chronic, persistent symptom complex, by definition, is unhealthy. And if we people all around the world need to start languaging this correctly, because it's important. But in any event, so is all of your plumbing intact? The uterus and ovaries, everything still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So then you're in luck. What we do here to support and promote healthy hormone levels is support and promote your liver, because your liver is intimately involved with regulating hormone levels in your body. Your liver is intimately involved with regulating hormone levels in your body. And, you know, I mean, honestly, right? I mean, you know, the backbone's connected to the thigh bone's connected to the leg bone, and like that. Right? Everything's connected. So when it comes to hormones, we need to give general, holistic, all-around body support, plus a little extra, you know, hormonal support. And in this regard, we focus on the liver. So how much do you weigh?
About 175.
So what I would do for 3 months is I would do 4 bottles of selenium a month in addition to the Healthy Start Pack. And I would do the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack with the liquid calcium. I would do the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack with the liquid calcium, because that way you get more essential fatty acids at a better price point. And you need more essential fatty acids, because that's the other piece of the pie, the other side of the coin when we're attempting to support healthy hormone levels, is we give essential fatty acids in appropriate amounts, or in excess of appropriate amounts. So one Healthy Brain and Heart Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. If you're 175, you'd need to do 2 of those. 4 bottles of selenium a month, and 2 bottles of Prohoba Omega. 2 bottles of Prohoba Omega. And a couple times, 3 times a week, I would have a fresh squeezed vegetable juice mix, which is most awesomely fantastic for liver health. It's a combination of beet juice, carrot juice, and Granny Smith apple. Beet juice, carrot juice, and Granny Smith apple. Start with 1 ounce of beet juice, then work your way up, if you can, to 4 ounces of beet juice at a time. You can add the carrot and the apple juice as much as you want to make it taste, good. It's a really great taste combination. But the fresh squeezed beet juice here is the secret sauce for liver health. And if you get on board with this program, if you ride this horse for 4, 5, or 6 weeks, your urine and your stool will turn red, and you'll think you're bleeding. So don't freak out. You're not. It's just the beet juice, right? But beet juice, when I was in naturopathic medical school, John Bastier, who's now, passed on to the other side, and the college that I went to, the medical school that I went to, was named after John Bastier. He was a very famous naturopath in his day. He gave a lecture to my class and told us a remarkable story about a hepatitis C case that was completely cured. Well, we can't say cured because he didn't use a drug, but completely eliminated with beet juice. That's all they did, just beet juice. Beet juice is a most awesome nutritional support program for your liver. And when you add beet juice on the back of Prohoba, Prohoba Hepal, and the Ultimate Selenium, and the 90 Essential Nutrients, that's a slam dunk, man. Now, the only other thing that you can do, and I would do this as an experiment for 21 days, 3 weeks in a row. No kidding, Wendy. Become the cholesterol queen of Canada. Just go crazy, hog wild for cholesterol for 21 days, three weeks in a row, and see how you feel, because all of your hormones. I once had a genetic disease. Hold on. Yep, we're back live, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your steadfast advocate for health. This from Dr. Ken, who's an insider and in the chat room right now watching the live video feed. He says, I quote, I once had a genetic disease that was cured by nutrition with ease. So my gene was not broken, but this truth goes unspoken by those emperors called MDs. Ken, you are hired. Indiana is up next with Derek, I think. Welcome aboard, Derek. You are live.
Hey, how you doing, Dr. Glidden?
I'm good, man, but I'll get better, God willing. Thanks for the phone call. How can I help?
Well, you answered it just about. I was calling to find out about hepatitis C and hepatitis B. What would you recommend? But it sounded like you said beet juice, Prohoba Hepal, and the 90 Essential Nutrients with selenium.
Yeah, that's correct. And I'll tell you a story. I have before I knew anything about longevity, of course, I was a naturopathic physician in private practice. And I've been treating a guy for 25 years now. No, that's a lie. For 23 years. I've been treating a gentleman for 23 years now with hepatitis C. He developed hepatitis C when he was in his early 20s. Now he's in his early 60s. He's alive and doing well. And all of his buddies who also got hepatitis C at the same time, they're all dead. And he's the only one that did alternative, quote-unquote, medicine, and he's doing quite fine. So, I have direct evidence that you can, in fact, make a great deal of progress in the health of somebody, even with a nasty illness like hepatitis C, and, that's what we do. Now, interestingly enough, hepatitis C, you would think, right, that if you were a medical professional who dedicated their life and went through all of this schooling and your whole thing is to become a doctor and end human suffering, you would think that you would want to investigate certain things. There are known cases, hundreds, if not thousands by now, probably thousands, of known cases of spontaneous remission of hepatitis C, spontaneous remission. Now, hepatitis C is a viral infection of the liver, and it is supposed to be, a life-ending event because there is no cure for hepatitis C, and once you've got it, it's only a matter of time until the viral infection kills you, right? But there are lots and lots of people who have had hepatitis C on Monday, and they wake up on Tuesday and there's no more hepatitis C. It's gone. It's completely gone. It's gone. It's no longer there. And you think the medical community would investigate that. You would think they would try to figure that out. But again, they don't. Why? Because it's not their concern to cure disease. And honest to God, man, honest to God, if people, look, I'm not bashing the MDs. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm just telling it like it is, right? I mean, look, let's all get used to the fact that Democrats don't like war, and Democrats like social programs, and Republicans like war, and Republicans don't like social programs. I mean, that's just the way that it is. For better or for worse, that's just the way that it is, right? We all just need to understand, well, it's MDs are not concerned with curing disease. That's their thing. I guess it's okay. It's not my thing, but if people really understood this, there'd be a riot. I mean, it would be bad.
Well, I had one more question too. One more question. When you talk to different people that are interested in coming to longevity, either as a customer or as a distributor, because they heard enough information to spike their curiosity. Sometimes people that, have the quote unquote, I say this with a little bit of humor, research, they want you to research, these other vitamin companies or compare one that they really think is good to longevity. And I said, well, I tell people you need to talk to Dr. Glidden because you had talked about 200 vitamin companies that you had went over. Can you kind of tell us about that where, the difference why it's really kind of a waste of energy?
Well, all right. So the next time somebody gives you a hard time about vitamins and says, oh, I need to do some research, this, that, or the other thing. Here's the Zen sword that cuts through all the nonsense, okay? I want you to ask them to define a vitamin. Say, well, that's fantastic. By the way, what's a vitamin? Just ask them what a vitamin is, because they won't be able to answer that question. Most people have no earthly idea of what a vitamin is, and yet they're all about doing their own internet research to figure out which vitamin supplement has the best vitamins. They don't even know what a vitamin is. But they don't know that they don't know what a vitamin is because they're so full of themselves. And oftentimes this simple question will create a brain squeak and give you It's kind of hard to believe for newcomers, isn't it? It's kind of hard to believe for newcomers that we can get this much traction with chronic disease just with medical nutrition. But you can. And if you stick around with us long enough, you're going to see, testimonials that'll bring you to freaking tears. We're still on with Derek in Indiana. I don't think I answered his question completely. Are you still there? Come on in, Derek.
Oh, yes, we're still here. Great commercials.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So basically the understanding here is that, the biochemistry of clinical nutrition is rather a sophisticated process, and it's nothing that a layperson should even begin to think that they could have any ability to understand that area whatsoever. I mean, it's a complicated thing. It's like the income tax, laws. It's a complicated thing, man. You need an accountant to figure that stuff out. You need a lawyer to figure out the laws, right? You need an automobile mechanic to figure the automobile out. You need a dentist to figure out what to do for your tooth. I mean, if you had a bad tooth, you wouldn't go to the internet to try to figure out how to fix it yourself. But when you have a bad liver, you go to the internet to try to figure out how to fix it yourself. And I'm going to compare vitamin companies one amongst the others. It's a fool's errand. And yet people do it all the time because of lack of education. People just don't know any better. I mean, it's a problem. I mean, it's a big problem here. And, I have to kind of be a bad cop in this regard because people don't even know what the hell a vitamin is, and yet they're going to do research to figure out which vitamin company is better. It's nuts. So here's what I tell people. If your son or daughter wanted to learn how to play basketball, and for the same amount of money, you could hire Michael Jordan or your high school basketball coach to help them learn how to play, who are you going to hire? Well, you're an idiot if you don't hire Michael Jordan, because he's one of the best basketball players in the world, right? Well,
right.
The best medical nutrition physician in the world is Dr. Wallach. Dr. Wallach literally wrote the book on medical nutrition. Dr. Wallach's book on medical nutrition, which cost $25 million, is in the Smithsonian Institution right now. It's a national treasure. So you need to bring in an expert when you are dealing with a medical nutrition situation. And you can try to figure it out yourself. But if you don't even know what a vitamin is, if you don't know the definition of vitamin, how effective do you think you're going to be at figuring this all out? You're not going to be effective at all. So rather than try to become the expert, you should just lean on the expert. And Dr. Wallach is the unrivaled expert in science-based, clinically verified, holistic medical nutrition. So, the short answer is here, do what Dr. Wallach says. Why? Because Dr. Wallach has more research under his belt and more clinical experience under his belt with medical nutrition than any other licensed physician in the world. And it would be prudent to start with Dr. Wallach's strategies, try them on for size, and let the proof of the pudding be in the eating. Does that make sense?
Right.
Right. I mean, it all boils down to that, man. We can talk about biochemical pathways, and I can tell you about quality control parameters inside of nutritional supplement companies, and I can tell you about the difference between organic and synthetic vitamin preparations, and I can tell you all this stuff which ultimately is meaningless, because in the final freaking analysis, you just need to trust somebody. You do. You trust your automobile mechanic. I mean, you trust, that the whoever it is that's in charge of regulating, the production of gasoline, you trust that the gasoline in your pump is not going to make your car explode, right? Because it's been tested and it's passed certain quality certification. You trust that the steak that you buy and the chicken that you buy at the supermarket isn't contaminated with E. coli, because there are professionals at work whose job it is to take care of that. Well, guess what? There are professionals at work whose job it is to bring medical nutrition into the mainstream, and it's Dr. Wallach. I mean, if you want to lean on somebody for professional medical advice about nutrition, then you're an idiot if you don't follow Dr. Wallach's lead. I appreciate everything you're doing down there in Indiana, Derek. Keep up the good work. And this is in the final analysis, folks. The only thing that matters, right, is results. So our recommendation, eliminate the 10 bad foods and try the 90 for life. Get on board with the appropriate healthy start pack for 90 days. 90 for life for 90 days. I don't care what your condition is. I don't care what it is. I don't care how long you've had it. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how much you weigh. Give 90 for life 90 days to make a noticeable, measurable, remarkable, positive change somewhere in your body-mind. Because really the only thing that matters is results. And the only reason that I'm a cheerleader for longevity is because longevity's protocols produce more consistent results than anything I've ever seen. And in, 25 years of clinical work with medical nutrition, I've seen a lot. So trust me, check it out. You're going to love the way that you feel. Let's see who's up next. Looks like Jody from Kansas is up. Hey, Jody, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I had a quick question for you. I have recently been introduced to the supplements, and I thought it was a fabulous idea. I'm a nurse by trade, but I stay at home with nurses. My kids.
Man, we love nurses.
Yeah, and it all makes sense.
Yeah.
But I have several chronic diseases, So I wanted to get your opinion of what I should be taking.
All right. Well, you tell me each disease one at a time, and I'll tell you real quickly what we believe is the genesis factor thereof. Okay?
Okay. Most of mine are autoimmune. I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which gives me low.
All right, good. I'm going to stop you right there. Okay?
Okay.
So now I'm going to do a little shameless commerce here. Okay?
Okay.
On my website, drglidden.com, I have something called an insider subscription service. It's $20 a month. You can cancel at any time. And as an insider, if you go and purchase a subscription right now, you will gain immediate access to an online library that I have put together of over 110 hours of health webinars that I've put together. 45 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes at a time. I did an entire webinar on autoimmunity.
Really?
Oh yeah, and I explain it from soup to nuts, and especially for medical professionals. No kidding, it'll be the best $20 you've ever spent. And look, if you think it's hogwash, if you don't like it, if we'll give you your money back. I mean, you can cancel at any time. There's only so much I can tell you in a couple of minutes on the radio, and because you're a medical professional, I would encourage you wholeheartedly to check out the archives that I have on my website. All right, but now,
okay.
All right, I'll give you the short answer, okay? So the MDs look at somebody's blood who's suffering with certain set of symptoms, right? So they've got, all the classic symptoms of an overactive thyroid, and then they do the blood work, and they see that there are elevated levels of inflammatory markers in the blood, and there's also an antibody that's there that's not present in the blood of somebody who's healthy, right?
Right. Yep, right.
Therefore, the MD assumes it's the antibody that's causing the illness.
Exactly, yes.
And that's never been proven. The antibody, from our point of view, is the result of the illness. It's not causing the illness. It's kind of like if you found a dead animal on the side of the road, and it's been there for a week, and you turn it over, on the underside of the animal, it's going to be filled with worms and bugs and all kinds of little creatures that are eating up the dead, decayed, diseased body, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, it is our opinion that when there is chronic inflammation anywhere in the body, I don't care if it's in your joints, I don't care if it's in your thyroid, I don't care where it is. When there is a chronic low-grade inflammatory process in the body and your body is undernutrified, your body is generating dead tissue. Tissue is being destroyed all of the time, and the fire department of your body does not have the resources necessary to put the fires out to stop the inflammation and to stop the tissue destruction. So what happens? You've got lots of microscopic tissue, dead tissue in the body. So what's the body going to do? It's going to try to get rid of it. Because the inflammatory process, it can't stop. Because it's the fire department of your body's run out of water. The fire trucks are showing up at the fire, but they don't have any water, so the house is going to burn down. So the inflammatory process that is chewing up the thyroid on on a molecular level, on a microscopic level, is present all of the time. The body has wisdom. The body knows, son of a gun, well, boys, we can't put the fire out. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to get rid of the stuff that's burned down. We can do that. We don't have any water, but we've got hooks and ladders here, and we've got men, and we can take away all the burned up lumber, and that's what they're going to do. So from our point of view, the antibody is the result of the disease. It's not the cause of the disease, and so the MDs have gotten it backwards completely. Uh-huh. So what do they do? They recommend immunosuppressant therapies, right?
Yes, I've been on those before. Uh-huh.
Yeah, because they think that the immune system, for some reason, has gone haywire, and the body, for some unknown magical reason, is just starting to develop antibodies against itself, and the body has become a vampire. It's chewing itself up. It's become a zombie. It's chewing itself up, and they have no earthly idea why it's happened. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's reality by consensus, and it's become a runaway train, right? So what we believe is, well, look, the body has wisdom, the body wants to fix itself, the body knows how to fix itself, and the antibody isn't there to destroy the body. the antibody is there to get rid of the old diseased tissue that is accumulating every second of every day. So, from our point of view, then, the operative question here becomes, well, what the heck is causing the inflammation, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, and what do we do to fix it? Well, from our point of view, the main causative factor of any inflammation anywhere in the body is a function of two things. Number one, you're unwittingly consuming food that's pro-inflammatory, so you need to stop eating food that's causing inflammation. And there are 10 foods that we've identified to do that. You can get that list for free on my website, so stop eating the 10 bad foods. Number two, we need to support the fire department of your body, right? You know, we've got the immune system, and then we've got the anti-inflammatory stuff. So how do we support the fire department of your body? Well, that's easy. In order to support the fire department of your body, the recommendation is 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 immortalium, and 2 selenium. 1 anti-aging healthy start pack, 1 bottle of immortalium, and 2 bottles of selenium per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods. Now, you know, once we've done that, then we can start to give a little extra thyroid support in this case, right? Or, you know, if it was a joint issue, you know, an autoimmune disease of the joint, we'd give extra joint support or whatever. So, to give extra thyroid support, the recommendation is topical application of the essential oil of myrrh, M-Y-R-R-H, myrrh oil applied topically, liberally, and visit a chiropractor and have them assess the cervical curve in your neck, because there should be a nice little S-curve in your neck. And if that curve is not present, the nerves going to your thyroid are going to be funky. And if the nerves going to the thyroid are funky, your thyroid is going to be funky. So make sure the architecture of your neck is correct, so the nerve transmissions are correct. Use the myrrh oil and get on board with the medical nutrition. Life is good. Stick around, Jody. We're up against it. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Finishing up today's show. Talking to Jody from Kansas City, Kansas, I think, who is a nurse, and we love nurses, love to spend a lot of time talking to them. So I'm going to bring her back up, and we might have time for Kate's success story from Utah. So in any event, Jody, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so, all right, so Hashimoto's number one. What's the second thing?
The second one is the very common diabetes. I'm type 2, but I take insulin. I progressed very fast from the oral meds to insulin. All
right. It was proven in 1958 that one of the causes of type 2 diabetes is a simple mineral deficiency, chromium, and further research in the 70s showed vanadium also at play. So when somebody has type 2 diabetes, our recommendation is to support and promote your body's ability to optimize its structure and function. You got to use the secret sauce, and that involves mineral supplementation that's heavy on vanadium and heavy on chromium. But you don't just need vanadium and chromium, you need a whole bunch of other trace minerals. So, to the program that I just recommended, you would add, for blood sugar support, a product called Sweeties. And the recommendation would be 1 bottle of Sweeties per 100 pounds of body weight per month, and 1 bottle of plant-derived minerals per 100 pounds of body weight per month. And you got to be careful now, because I've seen blood sugar issues. I've seen type 1 diabetics on this program be able to cut their insulin dosage down by 75% in 14 days.
That would be awesome.
Well, all right. So, but my point is, you know, might take 2 weeks, might take 2 years. It's not going to take 2 years. But my point is, you need to maintain the discipline where you're measuring your blood sugars every day.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah. Okay,
and as they come down, adjust the prescription medications appropriately, and there's no harm and no foul there.
Okay. The other big one that I have, but I'm wondering if it's related, since it's the autoimmune, I have, they say it's lupus on my face. I have lesions on my face.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's kind of like a different arm of the same octopus, right? So right. Yeah, it's the inflammatory process that's, working itself through the body, coming out wherever it can. So there's nothing new to add there, but be advised. You've got a lot of things going on here.
Yes.
And so in order to optimize the nutritional intervention, you would be encouraged wholeheartedly to stay away from all 10 bad foods like they're the plague, okay?
Yes. All right. That's going to be really hard to do, but I'm willing to do it because I want to feel better.
I get it's hard intellectually, but in practice it's actually not that difficult. And honest to God, Jody, 3 months from now you'll be saying, what was my problem? This is easy. So check it out. I have to move on. I appreciate you very much. Appreciate your call. Now go get your health back. All right, Kate. You got 2 minutes to tell us your story. Welcome aboard.
Hi.
Kate from Utah. Hello. All right, we have a minute and a half, Kate. I left the best for last. So tell us what's going on.
Okay. I just wanted to do a quick report to you. I met you at convention. I told you I'm a mystery seizure girl. And I just want to report back that after going on the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, extra selenium, of course, and the Z-Radical and the Ultimate Baby, my seizures have diminished to nothing. They've been for a month. It's been 3 months. I've only had one, and it was about a month ago, and it lasted 5 minutes, if that. And I have not had one since. This has been going on for 30 years, and I am so excited I can't stand it. So thank you very much.
Oh, well. So I know what's happening. We'll bring the listening audience. So for 30 years, how frequently were you having seizures?
I could have up to 7 a day, but they mostly were, at times, they were extreme, and at times they were like 2 or 3, 4 a week. That was an average, about, 2 to 4 a week.
And for the last, and then now they're gone.
I haven't had one. I had one in the last month. It lasted less than 5 minutes. The others were always 30 minutes to 2 hours long.
Man, I love my job, Kate. You go, girl.
I love it too.
Is $1 million story. I appreciate you very much. I appreciate your trust more than anything because, you had to believe me to start doing it, right?
Yeah.
You're the greatest. Call back anytime. Wish we had more time to talk. Ladies and gentlemen, God willing and the creek don't rise. See you tomorrow. Same time, same station. Live long and prosper.